Alright, so now we're going to import that into the engine. So we're going to import that sequence sprite. Okay, for this one I'm just going to be a little bit proactive about this and say I want an additive, and I also want to create a material. Alright, so here's my material. Double click on that. And also I want to highlight my texture. So highlight the texture. So type in UV and you'll get particle sub UV. Click and drag that out. With the texture highlighted, it should just magically show up. Hit this one, delete. And we'll attach this one to emissive and this one to opacity. Okay, so you'll have something like this. Alright, now also I kind of want to turn on two-sided. Hit that out, apply changes, and get out. Okay, so make sure you save. Right click, save. Right click, new particle system, and we'll call this sequence example part for particle. Okay, let's get rid of this one and let's add this one. So let's grab the material, MAT. Let's right click and say new particle emitter. The refresh, and you should see this. It's like what my brain looks like if I'm trying to do too much math at once. It's great. Alright, let's take initial velocity, turn that off so it's just a single image. And then let's go down to required and go down here to sub UV, and we'll go 4 and 4. Okay. Also, I kind of like turning these on with tiled UVs. Alright, next, right click on here and say sub UV image index. Okay, let's click on that. Top one we're going to leave alone. Bottom one we're going to put an in val of 1 and an out val of 15.1. Okay. Go back to required, and we're going to go down here to interpolation method, and we're going to drop this down to linear. And it's going to have this, and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. Okay, next let's go to spawn. We're going to put a constant here of 1, and there we go. We have a number going from 1 to 16. Okay, now let's kind of slow that bus down a little bit. Here's a lifetime. So lifetime is equal to 1 right now. Let's say I put it to 2 and 2. You can see they start blending into each other. Well, this is great if you wanted that effect too, but just know that lifetime does affect it, and if you have like something called like fire or something, it'll work. The only bad thing is the alpha does not work quite well with that method. Okay, what else is cool to show you? Let me think. Alright, let's say I get all 16 showing. See at the end, there's hardly any 16 showing. So if you take this and put 15.5 down, you might see a chance of seeing 16 better. See how 16 actually shows up now? Alright, so that's just in case you're missing your last sequence. You can change it to 15.5. You might have to have different results for this, but you can go ahead and try different methods. And if you lowered this to 0.5, you'll find that it gets like a burst method. Now let's say I wanted to make this so the numbers showed up and the white was to be transparent. Well, I would go over here and I would just say channels, alpha, image, adjustment, invert, file, save. Okay, so now, and make sure you hit save as, because I would say that it's going to save at anything. We want to put sequence sprite 32-bit, and this will show the power of the UDK when it comes down to it, because I can just change this, right click and say re-import. So this one right here, re-import texture, it'll change this, it'll change the material, and it will update your numbers. Now you got these cool, like, magical numbers. Isn't that sweet? It's because the numbers were black to begin with, and then they have a linear fall off when it comes down to the alpha. I just like the look of it. Alright, so that in a nutshell is how to make it so there's image sequence available to you, and I'll tell you what, you can do a million things now with that. It's just I wanted to limit it to numbers so you can get an understanding on how it works. But think about fire, the sequence of fire, like the sequence of a burst, sequence of lightning, anything, and then you can grow from that. Alright, so that's particle emitter sequence style. Enjoy.